Hello there. Today I'm taking a look at a Sauvignon Blanc from Slovenia. The wine in question is from Domaine Ciringa, and this is the Fosilni Breg Sauvignon Blanc from 2020. I'm looking at this, I find it very interesting because it's a wine made by the Tement family, and the Tement family have built their reputation certainly recently, with many of the critics rating them as one of the best producers of Sauvignon Blanc anywhere in the world. And the Tement family's top vineyard is the Zieregg vineyard, and where they are in the Sudsteiermark in Austria, they're right on the border with Slovenia. In fact, the Zieregg vineyard crosses the same soil type from this vineyard, crosses into Slovenia, where it becomes the Fosilni Breg vineyard, Fossil Mountain, and that same corallic limestone continues through the two. As I say, the domain is owned by the Tement family, so it's made by the same people, it's made by in much the same techniques, and the wine is half the price. So this is a wine worth searching out, I reckon. So again, the domain is certified as organic. I believe they use some biodynamic practices as well. The winemaking is very much hands-on. Everything is hand-picked. I mean, this is a steep sloping vineyard at between 340 and 480 meters above sea level. So it's an area with cooling influences, but good sunlight exposure. The hand-picked fruit is it ferments using spontaneous fermentations, using the yeasts that are naturally in the winery or in the vineyard, and the wine then ages for a long period of time in old oak, principally, some stainless steel, but mostly old oak, with its yeast lees for 14 to 18 months. So for Sauvignon Blanc, that's quite a long time in terms of adding richness and roundness to the wine, and overlaying some of the primary fruit notes, which is a slightly different approach to the way the New World makes Sauvignon Blanc. So anyway, let's have a look at the wine and see what it's like. Starting out, you've got a pale, lemony yellow, possibly with greenish hints. Swelling it, the wine is what, I saw there, 13% alcohol. There aren't particularly tears flowing, they're just starting to now. But you'd expect that. Let's have a look at the aromas. The aromas are mineral, they're saline. There are notes of, I suppose, gooseberry, touches of black currant leaf, but again, as with the Tement Sauvignons that I've tried, there's a very slight hint of cattiness on the nose. You know, it's a very pungent nose, very precise and pungent, very well defined. So let's have a taste. On the palate, firstly, that's completely dry, and there's a very, very crisp acidity coming through. Almost a sort of giving a green, sappy note to the acidity. But at the same time, suddenly behind that, there's a bit of richness and roundness. That's I suppose, the lees aging coming in, the weight, the gras being added by the sort of yeast cells as they degrade and add sort of sugars and proteins to the wine. I mean, it's not sweet, but there's a richness there. Almost a sort of a tiny touch of the richer tropical fruit notes that you get with Sauvignon Blanc, sort of slight mango, passion fruit note, but quite restrained, not overt. There are the sort of the overt sort of sharp gooseberry notes. And yes, I suppose there's a lifted blackcurrant leaf. Again, with this wine, I'm quite relieved the cattiness is not carrying its way through to the palate from the nose, but there's a pungency there. It is making the finish last quite well with that sort of leafy blackcurrant leaf note, but also with a roundness. There's a creaminess to the texture on the mid palate, that's actually continuing to the finish and giving it some richness and a little bit of weight. I suppose also the 13% alcohol is probably contributing to that. But yes, the pungency, there's a mouth-watering freshness still that's making the flavours last well. This is a wine with intensity, balance. It's very focused. It's got a lovely length of flavour. Yeah, really good in a sort of mineral, slightly saline sort of style for Sauvignon Blanc. So yes, if you're looking for a bargain, Domaine Ciringa's Fosilni Breg Sauvignon Blanc. This was the 2020 vintage, but well worth seeking out because it's half the price of Tement's Zieregg, and I think offers very much the same sort of style and quality. So worth looking out for from Slovenia there. Thank you very much for joining us. I hope you've enjoyed the video. Do feel free to follow us. That would be great. If you want to like and share, we'd love that as well. But most importantly, do join us again. Bye now.